قصة في قصة. Subhanallah. Alhamdulillah. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Jazakallah khairan. Wa iyyakum. Ameen. Okay. All right. Inshallah. طيب. تفضل شيخ. بسم الله. كتاب جيد نافع. كتاب أو أتكلم أشرح فقه السنة. Whether we're speaking on the specific book of Sheikh Sayyid Sabiq, or whether he's speaking on and asking about the fiqh of the sunnah, then as we just said and as we just explained, the importance of knowledge, and knowledge is the doorway to having the proper understanding of what to do on a day-to-day basis concerning prayer, hijab, can I eat from McDonald's and Chick-fil-A or not, and why? Why and why not? Can I eat a chicken burger from a non-halal restaurant? Can I eat kosher? Etc., etc. What would the Prophet ﷺ say in this instance? Right? So knowledge is the doorway to everything good and positive in Islam. And from that is fiqh sunnah. Whether you're talking about the specific book, reading that book in Arabic, or even its translation in English or other languages, or whether a person is talking about having the proper fiqh in Islam. Wallahu ta'ala alam. That's in brief. Question says, AG from Glasgow, UK. Assalamu alaikum. May Allah increase your knowledge and benefit others with it and accept it. What is the virtue of archery, and does marksmanship have the same virtue? Okay. All right. Inshallah. Is it time now?
No. Yes.
Bismillah. Jazakallah khairan.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
If you want to take any questions, you can take any questions until we.
Okay. Bismillah. Jazakallah khairan. طيب. So the first question came from Glasgow, UK, with regards to what is the virtue of archery and does marksmanship have the same virtue? In brief, with the time that we have, there are different scholars of the past who wrote books on the virtue and the excellence of archery, of shooting. The Prophet ﷺ, he spoke on shooting and archery in several authentic hadiths in light of certain Quranic verses, which we won't mention right now, right here, for one reason or another. So, shooting initially with bows and arrows has a virtue. There's no doubt about that. And does marksmanship take the same ruling and virtue and excellence and the obligation of learning it and practicing it, so on and so forth? In general, yes. In general, yes. And as we say, from one thing we learn 10,000 things. The concept of old versus new, east versus west. And the concept of the need for the Muslim to have the old values, the old spirit, but with the new modern day technology. And one of the reasons why the Muslims and others, it wasn't just Muslims, but we're just talking about the Muslim countries fell behind, were conquered, were colonized, were enslaved, were forced, was because they did not make the necessary technological advancements. And their weaponry was outdated. It was obsolete. Here is a cannon, and here is a bow and an arrow. You figure out the equation. What's going to happen? Does the bow have its virtue, has its use? For sure. But it isn't the same as wahakadha. All right? So there is a purpose behind learning archery and teaching archery in Islam. And it isn't just for sport. It isn't just for, as many people think, zen. You're just shooting the arrow. And no, it's a tangible, practical reason why the Messenger of Allah ﷺ encouraged shooting. And obviously we know the answers offensively and defensively. So if the people today don't use bows and arrows, they have other types of bows. Suleiman, they have other types of arrows. Then obviously the Muslim is going to learn that and practice that as well. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Next question is coming from AG from Glasgow, UK. You have mentioned hadith studies and history go hand in hand. Where's a good starting point to begin learning history? I would advise you to take the online course that we have with regards to learning history. AK from St. Louis, Missouri. Assalamu alaikum, Mufti. Clarifying my question from last night. If the company one works for pays for health insurance in full, 100% for employees, is it permissible for me to sign the enrollment forms to receive my card and benefits? I'm not sure if it's mandatory yet, but if it is, would it be impermissible? Jazakumullahu khairan. As we stated before, having insurance, health insurance, driver's insurance, different types of insurances, for sure, in today's world, is oftentimes something that you don't have a choice to avoid. And there are many hardships that you're going to fall into by not having insurance. So if the company offers this for their employees as a means of incentives or looking after their loyal employees, alhamdulillah, you take that. How are they paying for the insurance? Where are they getting that money from? What are they doing? None of those things are your direct concern or responsibility. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Next question says, SB from Ottawa, Ontario. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. May Allah bless you and keep you firm. Moving, next question. No names or personalities mentioned in the Q&A from past or present. WA from Brooklyn, New York. Someone told me it is obligatory to make adhan and iqamah before praying. Is there proof for this? And what if someone prays without making either one? Is his prayer still valid? Yes, there is proof and evidence for those who say that the adhan is obligatory and the iqamah is obligatory in general. There's an argument. To keep things simple, if a person prays by himself and he did not make the adhan, nor did he make the iqamah, his prayer would be valid. It's best for sure to make the adhan, and it's best for sure to make the iqamah when praying by yourself. As far as congregation, then that's a different discussion. Wallahu ta'ala alam. MS from Gatineau, Canada. Assalamu alaikum. Can seeking knowledge make me reach the level of someone who worships a lot like night prayer? Tahajjud is hard for me right now, yet seeking knowledge seems easier. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Seeking knowledge, if you had a choice between seeking knowledge and voluntary prayers, and there wasn't enough time to do both, seeking knowledge is better than the extra prayers at night. If there wasn't time to do both and you had to pick one of the two, there's no doubt about that. Wallahu ta'ala alam. MA from Bronx, New York. Have you ever heard of the term Abrahamic locution? If so, what is it about? La adri, I don't know. UH from Long Island, New York. Salam Mufti, why do I need to fast Ashura if I fasted Arafah? Ashura forgives 1 year past, but Arafah does 1 year past and 1 year future. Well, first and foremost is you don't know which of your acts of ibadah were accepted. You don't know. Secondly, for argument's sake, you fasted Ashura, you fasted Arafah, etc. Why fast another day if I have 2 years covered, 2 years in the bank? More good deeds, more virtue, more forgiveness, more hasanat. Wallahu ta'ala alam. WA from Brooklyn, New York. Is it from the sunnah to say Sadaqallahu al-Azim after reciting the Quran? No, it is not. AR from London. Please advise for someone who feels stained after falling into zina while being married. They believe Allah will forgive but feel stained and down. Please advise. Regret is one of the most important conditions of Tawbah. Regret is Tawbah. Tawbah is regret. So you should feel stained. But at the same time, you have to move forward. And you cannot get stuck. And you cannot allow shaitan to pick you off in the past and what happened and what was decreed and what was meant to be. And you can't move forward. Make Tawbah, feel bad, and most importantly, realize how you felt into that zina, how you fell into it, and try to avoid that in the future. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. WA from Brooklyn, New York. What's Zawal al-Shams referred to with the start of Yom Arafah? And can Zawal al-Shams refer to multiple different times depending on context? Zawal al-Shams is basically noontime. When the sun ascends, it reaches its highest peak or point in the sky, and then it starts its slow and gradual descent towards the west. The moment it starts leaning and tilting and descending, that's Zawal. Wallahu ta'ala alam. AG from Glasgow, UK. What is the best way to respond when someone scorns knowledge in his path? Don't respond to them. You give advice, you don't argue, you don't fight. Advise someone to learn. If they say no, knowledge is stupid, there's no point. No, alhamdulillah. You keep it moving. NA from Ottawa, Canada. Ustad, with regards to the story of the boy dying on kufr and the girl dying with iman. Yeah, Ustad, this happened to me. To be, what does it mean? What's important is, if you're speaking about being firm, and the khutbah that we did about being firm, and how the boy fell in love with that Christian girl, and she told him that if you want to be with me, you have to leave Islam and become a Christian. So unfortunately, the boy got very ill and he got very sick. And before he died, he said that Allah has kept me away from her. And there's no way I can be away from her in the hereafter. And the only way I can be with her if I'm upon her religion. So he left Islam. And he declared that he became a Christian. And shortly afterwards, someone told him that the girl that you want to marry and that you're in love with, she accepted Islam. And then the boy died. Khasira dunya. That's the moral of the story, is that he lost both worlds. This one and the next. And may Allah protect us from that. BT from Nairobi, Kenya. Can we ask Allah for signs of an accepted dua? Ask Allah to show you if it's good for you, inshaAllah ta'ala. Ask Allah to show you, to teach you, to open up your mind and your heart. Next question says, UH from Long Island, New York. May Allah bless you, Mufti. I have a recurrent sin that's an addiction. I reached a point where I think I'll do tawbah before committing the sin. This shows a lack of fear of Allah. How do I rectify this? Keep making tawbah. Don't stop making tawbah, and try to prevent yourself from falling into that reoccurring habit, the addiction. But don't stop making tawbah, and do not allow the shaitan to play more mind games with you. SS from Chicago, Illinois. Barakallahu feek for your lectures. Mufti, is praying at home better for women than attending Jumu'ah? If you have the ability to go to the masjid and pray with the believers, and you're dressed properly, you're covered properly, go to the masjid and pray with the believers. For sure. Last question tonight is coming from Gatineau, Canada. Initials MS. A woman made an oath by Allah without intending it because she was too emotional. Arguing, is expiation needed? The safest thing to do to make the expiation if you broke your oath, as far as if you didn't intend to do it, it was a mistake, it was an accident, or you were forced by your emotions, then perhaps it doesn't count and the oath never actually took off. But cover your ground, cover your tracks by making the expiation. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala abdihi wa rasulihi nabiyina wa imamina Muhammad.